everybody, and welcome to this week or month's episode of the Good for Business podcast. I'm your host, Colin Krieger, and I sell houses. And in the room with me tonight is Katie Rebecca Braswell Cooper III Jr.com of Ashley Furniture fame and everywhere else. What are we really supposed to call you on the show?
So, Katie Cooper, essentially.
Okay.
I've never been called Rebecca. It's always been Katie since the day I was born that I know of.
Okay. Well, I usually stick with women. I tend to go with what their name is on Facebook. So if I see your name on Facebook changes or I see something like that, I'm like Amber Murphy Brislin. Like I roll with the names like that, and that way I know. And if you don't have it on there, for example, my favorite stories that I told Josh Gillis is that I didn't know Amy Vogue was his sister for years, but really until about a year ago. And
Amy and I went to high school together.
Okay. Well, so but her Facebook doesn't say
right.
Amy Gillis
for sure.
But that doesn't really roll off the tongue though. Some names do, but like I'm Colin Park Krieger. That's a natural preppy sort of thing. So, all right, well, go ahead and tell me your life story.
Oh gosh. So I was born and raised here in Columbus, Mississippi. Just a hometown girl.
Where'd you go to high school here?
Well, I went to a few high schools.
Okay.
Some might have called me a problem child. So I went from private school to public school to private school to public school. I started off at Emmanuel in kindergarten and then transitioned to the public school system and went back into the private school system around the 6th grade, where I went to Victory Christian Academy up until my 10th grade year, and then a very short stint at Columbus High School before graduating from Heritage.
Okay.
So
that's a big one. Made the rounds.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in the suburbs or in the city or where?
So I grew up in the county, like right outside of the city limits, but not quite in Caledonia School District. I always remember my mom like wanting to send me to Caledonia, but not being able to because of where we lived.
I've been to that house, right?
Okay. Yeah, you have.
I also went scourging in her house for baseball cards and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And
good times.
What was your first job you ever had?
Oh my gosh. So first, like, job being Old Navy. And then, so my mom was the marketing director for The Point for a really long time. And so I worked out there from the age of 16 to like 21.
What's The Point for me and for people who don't know?
So Plantation Point is a retirement community.
Oh, okay.
There's houses and then assisted living and also the nursing home, the Windsor.
Yeah, my mom got to stay there a little while. It wasn't really long. So
yeah. So I sat with some elderly people out there. I sat with Dora Mae Somerville for a really long time. She was a senior English teacher, and her husband was the postmaster of Aliceville, Alabama. And it's so cool because, this past weekend my dad lived in Aliceville Manor, and so we got to go back to Aliceville, and, there's this big building. The Somervilles were a really big family in Aliceville and did a lot of good things for the town, so it was just cool to get to go back and do that.
And Aliceville isn't all that big.
No.
It's hanging in there.
We met the mayor.
Yeah.
He was the funeral guy.
Well, that's what I wanted. Yeah, I always say that Caledonia is like that, too, where they're slashes. Yeah. And not slash like the world famous guitar player, but slash like I'm the mayor, funeral slash mayor director slash postmaster slash garbage man, where they have several careers of varying degrees of success.
For sure. He actually has a church here in Columbus, the
Northside
Side Church. Yeah.
You got to stay busy. You get in small towns. Like we had my internet friend, famous friend, Stafford Sheridan here last week. He lives in Drew, Mississippi, which is population 1,800. And he's like, it's not even 1,800. Like it's a little lower than that. So everybody's got a couple jobs there. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So you ever work any restaurants or anything like that?
So I did have one restaurant job. I worked at McAllister's for a long time, in and out. It's just kind of the lifestyle that I had at the time. I didn't keep a job for very long.
Yeah.
So like at Old Navy, when I stopped working there, I started doing the full-time sitting gig. I was really kind of in the social scene of things, so that gave me the flexibility to kind of make my own schedule and go out and socialize and all that kind of stuff. When I graduated high school, I tried the college thing. I went to the W for like half a semester, and I was like, yeah.
When was that? When did you finish high school?
It's not for me. 2003.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had a lot of run-ins with a lot of folks in your general age group from 2005, 6, and 7 when I came up here after Katrina.
Yeah.
And so there were a lot of people, Melissa and the late, great Ducky and the Leonard brothers and all that who worked at Papa John's, went around the Papa John's.
Yeah,
and we hung out at what they called the Ghetto Mansion downtown.
Oh, I've been there a few times.
Yeah, so there's photos of me in there somewhere from 2006, probably on somebody's MySpace page.
Yeah.
I wasn't I wasn't that much older than the crowd, but I was like 7 or 8 years older. But there were a few people my age. But
yeah, for sure.
Pretty legendary AM, FM, all those kind of stuff days. So back in the day, even though I wasn't here for most of the day. So
yeah. Well, we're glad you're here now.
I'm stuck. I can't go anywhere. So, what's your first? I call it grown-up job.
First grown-up job.
Are you still looking?
I mean, no. I think I've got a grown-up job now. First grown-up job, I guess, would be working for my cousin Carrie Jordan. She used to be a local attorney here. I was her legal secretary for a short amount of time.
And she's down. Is she in Natchez now, or did she move down south?
Somewhere along that lines. Yeah, she's public defending now, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, that's a grown-up job.
Yeah, I mean, it's a grown-up job until it wasn't anymore.
Yeah.
When when you go out drinking after work and you get pulled over by your neighbor highway patrol officer, you think that they would just let you go home.
Yeah.
That's just not how it works.
They frown on that?
Yeah, they frown on that. But luckily, hindsight's 20/20, I definitely am glad that he got me off the roads and kept, Lowndes County safe.
Well, most of that's like a one-time, you get that, you learn your lesson. A lot of people at the one time you get scared.
Yeah,
quite scared enough. My lesson for that here was when I worked at the Packet and I got to know all the cops and deputies, and they're like, they would just say, I wish people would just call 911 and ask for a ride home.
Yeah.
Like and once I heard that, I'm like, it's so insulting for me to even drive with a buzz, because I'm like, I especially with the people I know, I could just call a cop and get a ride home. So
yeah.
Plus, of course, at the Packet, I saw all kind of people dead mainly from not wearing your seatbelt. Wear your seatbelt, kids.
Yes.
That's my lesson there. Okay, so currently,
don't drink and drive.
Yes. So you were married. I don't want to say currently you're married to Lance Cooper. You were married to the well-known man about town, musician to the stars. And is he a teacher now or something?
He works for Capella University. He is an enrollment specialist.
Okay.
So he helps people get started in their college journeys.
A lot of people know Lance Cooper from singing and playing music here and in Starkville for over 20 years, I guess, now. Because, like I said, he was with the aforementioned AM, FM, and played with Justin Kleber everywhere in the world, and was the original music coordinator for all the fundraisers we started at Zachary's, and then he worked with Ryan Munson, and then at Munson Brothers, and now he's doing at Capella University, which sounds more appropriate for a singer. And so you just had one of your...
And he's got some gigs coming up, too. So
I saw one of the posters.
He's been playing at the Tavern. He played at Georgia Blue the other night.
That's what I saw,
Just trying to get back out in the music scene. That is something that's one of the reasons I really love him, is because he is so passionate about music, and not just like playing music, but like he wants to bring it to the community and make it a community thing. And I just love that so much. Music brings people together, it's healing.
So, all right. And you've got I don't know, what do we call Ben a stepson that just graduated high school?
He's one of my kids,
One of my kids. Yeah, no, it's been long. How long have you and Lance been together?
So we've been together 6 years. This will be 6 years.
That's it. Yeah. Once you put in more than like 4 years with a teenager, you own them. I've almost claimed all 3 of my daughters.
Oh,
I've had them the entire time.
They grow up so fast.
I dislike it so much. So last year in August, we lost. Everybody's telling me don't say I lost my girls, but yeah, they both left the same day. Like one to go to college and one to go to MSMS, and we were just like, ugh. And like we have Julie at home, and she's all right, but and now we have three. Now we're one night into three girls at home again, and we're like, all right, you'll go
Go
do
back to
something.
where he came from.
Go do something. So, and talk about like you've been involved, if I'm correct, in mental health and like physical health, mental recovery space for a while. Is
Sure. So actually, like to go back a little bit, Lance's ex-wife Melissa, who is a counselor, a therapist, I should say. Her and I met over a decade ago. And it was when I was going through some mental health things with my mom and having her committed. And I went through some mental health things with my dad and had him committed. And she was working for Dr. Ali at the hospital at the time. And so, we just kind of met and we hit it off. And she was super empathetic and compassionate and, shared some stuff about her story. And we just really connected. It's so weird because, like, I feel like we have, like, kindred spirits,
Yeah.
And the universe saw fit to bring us together and connect us in that time that I know I really needed it, but it's just so cool how things worked out between us and how we're family now. And
Yeah. There's sometimes I use y'all as an example. There's some people who I say the same argument with homeschool sometimes. There's people at homeschool because it's socially they're more worried about what people think, and they're actually being kind of lazy with the kids at home. I can tell you during COVID, it's a miracle our kids went to MSMS because we were in the cocktail pool the whole time during COVID, and we weren't teaching
tried
anything.
the homeschool thing. It was not for us.
But y'all are the example I use for the upside of co-parenting. Some people use that co-parenting phrase, and people have. I'm 50. My generation or my age and older are like, okay, it goes in line with pronouns and all this other stuff. They just can't grasp it. And that it looks like, oh, well, one parent doesn't want to do anything and the other one does. But y'all have been a pretty good example, at least from a distance, of like, oh, we're both kind of on the same page. We're helping the kids, which is difficult with some teenagers there.
Yeah, it is. And we are. And the thing is everything perfect and peachy keen? Absolutely not. But we have to have the hard conversations, we have to stay honest, open-minded, and willing to work on ourselves and, talk about issues that are tough. And that's just, it's for the betterment of everybody, not just the kids, but like us as individuals as well. I'm really grateful for our family and what we have. It's special.
So talk about the other kids.
So... Are you talking about the Cooper kids?
The Cooper kids, yeah.
So, Ben just graduated. He's going to MUW Honors College.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for him. He is smart as all get out. And then, Lola, she's on the New Hope dance team. Jacob is just wild. I love him so much. That kid will never stop talking.
Yeah, I remember Jacob the day he was born. We called him Squishy. And I was like, and Melissa kind of moved out of the downtown area when he was getting to be toddling around, so I don't see him as much. But we're all kind of getting to that age where our friends have kids graduate high school, and you're like, you don't see it when it's yourself, but then you see your friends like Steve Robertson, and I was like, oh my god,
they were there too.
I know, I was like, oh my god. Of people I knew them when they didn't have kids.
Right.
And I've only been here 20 years, so I'm like, that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
So at the MDW, do they live at the dorm at all? Freshmen?
Yeah, there's an honors dorm.
Okay.
So yeah, he's gonna be moving in. And
oh God.
Yes, Lord. I'm excited for him. I think he's gonna, blossom, find his people, and he's gonna do really great things. I think his major, he decided, was political science.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It's not a bad gig.
He's a really talented photographer, and so I think he could really go a long way with the political science degree for sure. But you never know. Kids change their mind. So.
Yeah, no, that's why I always say parents are always asking kids for what they want to do when they grow up, is because we're looking for ideas.
Yeah.
Like everybody's got to have several careers of varying degrees of success, and I've been all the way. I haven't been a candlestick maker because Ryan never didn't look at my resume, but I've been a butcher and a baker and a pizza maker, and I've gotten around myself. So tell everybody what you're doing now.
So now I'm working at Ashley Furniture. and accumulatively have been with the company for over 10 years.
Okay.
So I worked there the first time, and then I got pregnant with August, stopped work for a little while. Things happen in my life, and I'm back. And I don't know, Ashley Furniture, this is the job that I've always had a passion for, that makes me happy, that makes me feel like I'm doing something good for the community, being able to provide a service to, help somebody get a better night's sleep, or, make them smile when they walk in a room because they enjoy what they see, or just help them have something to better their lifestyle, So it's,
and you get to see, being in real estate, like we have moments where like people just got engaged and they closing on a house or just got married, but like you're literally seeing people coming in with holding hand in hand, because it is really like, let's get married and then we're getting a place together, so we need that bed or that couch or whatever. That's
right.
Mainly because whatever the guy has is probably garbage and nobody is putting up with what we have whatsoever.
No doubt.
Yeah, we're good Ashley customers because we eat furniture with 3 teenage daughters and multiple animals. In my house, we just eat every couple of years. We're just like,
we've got a protection plan for that.
Yeah, I don't know with the amount we're destroying them. I think we had it on one of them, but I forget what happened. But we'll be coming through there soon. So
sweet.
What you had told me something I didn't know, that Ashley seems like such a big brand that we don't understand that it's actually Mississippi owned and operated, right?
Right. So most Ashley Furniture Home stores are a corporate entity. Our Ashley Furniture Home store that we have here in Columbus is locally owned. George Keenan, he's from Oxford. He is there Monday through Thursday. It is a single man owned store. And so, when you're shopping with us, you're shopping local. And I definitely would like to let people know that. I feel like they tend to think that since Ashley Furniture is on the door, but how else are people going to know if we don't tell them,
No, that's part of when you brought it up with me, it made a difference. And having a background in like franchise development for Papa John's, like I know that most Papa John's are owned by some dude.
Yeah.
And like the Dairy Queen here is owned by some dude. And usually McDonald's, half of McDonald's are corporate, half, but like, you got to get to like Walmart level where it's not a person who saved up their money and built it and did this to get, even including Express Oil Change in here in town. I'm just going down the list of things I can think of, and I'm like, oh, this is just one dude or one woman or a couple people got together and built something. And it does make it better when you find out it's somebody local. Plus, y'all do a phenomenal job of supporting nonprofit charity stuff. So,
well, we try. The owner and the manager are like that. That's one thing that they really like to do, is just help local businesses out. They want to enrich the town and do a little bit of good where they can. So, and it makes me happy to work for somebody like that.
No, it does.
Yeah.
And so do y'all see seasonal differences in business? Like, are there some times that are busier?
Sure.
Tax return season?
Yeah, tax return season is normally busier than the summertime. We do get an upscale in mattress sales during the summertime. Hint, hint. Ask for Katie. And just right there at Thanksgiving too, like Black Friday, there'll be a real big pop of business for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it differs. It changes. It varies.
Does the price of gas affect everything? Gas and groceries?
Yeah, absolutely. We just had to have a small price increase, and it just is what it is. Like it costs more to get the furniture there.
Yeah.
So every once in a while we do that, but it's been several years since there's been a price increase at Ashley, and it wasn't a really huge one, but he did have to make a change.
So how much do people test out mattresses? Do you ever have people come in there and fall asleep and take a nap? Or?
So, yeah, we've had some people come in there and take a nap.
I guarantee you husbands have, because I've almost fallen asleep sitting in the easy chair waiting for my wife to like walk around and stuff. So
yeah, I encourage my customers to come spend some time in the mattress room. It's the most important piece of furniture for your home. It's the one you spend the most time on, or hopefully you spend at least 6 to 8 hours on. But not a lot of people get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So we need to make sure the quality of sleep is really good if you're not getting enough. So I encourage my customers to spend time in the mattress room. Another good thing that we offer for our higher end mattresses is a 90-day sleep trial. So you actually get to take it home. You have to sleep on it for 30 days. If after the 30 days you're not satisfied, you've got 60 more days to come and choose whatever you like from the store. So
There you go.
Yeah.
What's the super fanciest, neatest option you have? Speakers?
Oh yeah,
You told me. You told that
yeah,
she's
yeah.
in our B&I group, Business
Yeah.
Network International. We meet every Thursday from 8 to 9:30 at Events Off Fifth here in
visit
downtown
us.
Columbus. Come visit us. But you talked about like a app that's hooked in and plays music depending on your mood. And if you-
Okay. So Tempur-Pedic has this option of, like if you have a king-size bed, doing a split mattress. So if you and your sleep partner have different needs on your mattresses, say the wife needs a firm, the husband needs a softer mattress, we can do that. It is an individual sleep program that we offer. We offer the adjustable bases as well, the head lift, foot lift. There's some stigma around that. Well, I'm not old enough for that, or this or that. But there's a lot of health benefits.
I've only
to
been
be
on,
had.
I've only been on one, and I liked mainly the foot lift thing. And I understand that wives like it, the head lift, because they can keep their husband from snoring by putting them kind of upright.
Yes,
so.
yes. Just 6 to 8 inches of head lift will hopefully alleviate that. But we've got this smart base that it comes with the app. It's by Tempur-Pedic, and it has built-in Bluetooth speakers and different hertz of vibration.
Now, are we talking like Motel on the Island vibration? Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe a little throwback, but a little more intentional. So you hook it up to your TV and or whatever sleep app you have. You can have the Calm app or whatever mindful app you have, and the vibration is in accordance to the sound, and so you can get an immersive experience.
Just like the theater in Tuscaloosa where
Right,
it shakes and
right,
you're watching Top
right.
Gun or whatever.
It's super cool.
Do y'all have chairs like that there?
No, but we do have. I'm trying to talk Josh into getting the living room set that has the Bluetooth speaker system in it, and it's also got the
Shaky
immersive
things?
experience. Yes.
I'd consider that because, I'm one of those people that forgive me, Katie, for I've sinned, but we sleeping on a 20-year-old mattress
Okay.
with several pillows and pillow tops and down comforters
here
on tops,
whenever
and
you
it's
need me.
wonderful. And but so I don't care. I generally don't care too much about furniture, but I should have tested out more. My last set of couches, and now I need another one. But same thing with televisions. 3 years ago, I had a 45-inch TV. It was fine. Then we got a 55-inch. Then we traded one out for the one at my clubhouse, and then I got a 65. And then the other day, somebody gave me a 77-inch OLED TV, which is the future of television, $3,000 TV. And now I'm like, oh,
How
like
have
it's
I
just
ever
amazing.
lived
Yeah,
without
and that's how I feel about. That's the opposite of how most men don't go to the doctor because they don't want to know the truth.
Yeah.
That's sort of how I feel about the furniture. I'm like, if I get something nice, I'm toast. I'm just spoiled, because I'm at the age now where I'm like, I want the brand name Oreos. I'm not satisfied with the little ones. And
You're going to be living your best life once you get a really good night's sleep.
I think I get a great night's sleep.
Desiree's not going to know what to do with you.
I don't know if the world can handle more energy from Uncle Colin, as I call myself.
Goodness.
So how's the baby doing? How old's your baby?
August is not a baby anymore. Jacob's actually younger than August. So
Really?
they're 10 months apart.
Oh, okay.
And Jacob's birthday is in October. August's birthday is in January. So they were born the same year.
Yeah.
So they're really close in age. So there's this super, super closeness, but also super, super competitiveness.
Yeah.
They have an unshakable bond, and I love it. And it's just so organic. And
Oh.
I just love that August has him and he has August.
Well, that's awesome. Are they both out at New Hope schools or where
They're at Annunciation.
Annunciation.
They're
That's
at
right.
Annunciation. Yeah, I think Jacob's going to be going to New Hope this coming up year.
Okay.
August will stay at Annunciation because we live in the.
And you just said something sweet about it being together now. They're
Yeah,
splitting up.
I know.
Probably not a bad age for them to get
Yeah.
a little distance from each other.
I
so.
wish we could talk to the superintendents about letting him go to the county school since all of his siblings are in the county school. But
Yeah, I don't know. They used 20, 30 years ago, they used to have more leeway
Yeah.
for that. So, and it's funny because I almost argue against, I've told this to several school people, like, here you can be a bus driver and your kid gets to go to school. I'm
Yeah.
like, am I paying all these taxes? And
Yeah.
that's all I got to do is go be a bus driver or something.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
maybe we need to find you a house out in the county. So
Maybe.
But no, it's not too bad. The number one correlation for me between kids and their success in school is the parents.
Sure.
People can say what they want about the Columbus School District, but nobody sent more kids to MSMS than Columbus High School. So,
It's good to know.
Yeah, so it's people think it's how much the parents are involved.
Yeah.
Which again makes it a miracle that with my kids that whoever made it to MSMS because I'm pulling out my calculator. I could do I don't need a calculator to do tips, but that's because I worked in restaurants and I'm a realtor, so I can multiply anything by 6%. I mean, down 8 decimal points deep, but there's no. I saw their homework at first, the math class at MSMS. It's frightening. There's things on there. And I'm like, I don't know this, or that's an exponential. I was like, what does that mean? and Allison's like, I guess you're not helping Dad. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to be that helpful. So.
Before I came over here, I picked August up from his last day of school, and he was like red-faced, crying. His teacher, Kathy Grant, like really made an impact on him this year and has really been there for him. And we were just kind of working through that stuff. And I was like, what is this white envelope? And he is in the beta club now, I guess. And so that's super exciting. Super, super exciting. ACS has been a really soft landing for us. With August coming to live with us a couple of years ago. It's been supportive.
We have no complaints about our time.
Ways.
Yeah, our kids. Allison was there almost the whole time.
Yeah.
Katie left a year early, and Julie, once we had 2 at Heritage and 1 at
Sure.
Annunciation, it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got all 3 of them there, then next year Allison out of nowhere is like, I want to go to MSMS, and then now Julie's alone at Heritage. But that's I think this year 7 kids from Heritage went to MSMS, which Heritage should be pretty proud of. I think 4 of the 7 went through Annunciation too. So,
that's
but
super
it
cool.
stinks for Heritage because
I keep forgetting about that option for high school.
Yeah.
So I've got to
Yeah.
keep that in my mind.
Yeah, it'll progressively get tougher over the next couple of years. They kind of bottomed out during COVID, but
Yeah.
they still don't. Even though they're if their peak was 500 applications for 100 spots, I think they're more like 3 now. But they still don't let kids in who can't handle it.
Yeah.
And their interview process is pretty rigorous because, every year there's one kid that leaves the first night, and there's that first couple weeks of that math class they put them through is something else.
Yeah.
Because it's junior level college math if you're a math major, And again,
Sure.
I'm of no use of what they're talking. They're
Same.
my Allison and Katie still are explaining to me difference between chemistry, physics, and calculus. I'm like, I don't know.
Me neither. That's why I didn't go.
This is a 3-bedroom, 2
I
bath.
tried it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a shot at it. I was almost failing out of high school math in 10th grade. We had a teacher that explained everything in terms of horse racing, and that got me through algebra enough to understand stuff. Because once I knew, it's aqueduct in the 6th race, I'm like, okay, I get it, and that's X minus this. I'm like, that makes a little more sense. But as far as what I remember from it, and I'll probably have an anxiety dream tonight just thinking of that part of it. So
No, same. Miss Anderson at Heritage, she did the same for me. We did not get along to begin with because I couldn't understand things and I was balking,
Yeah.
to say the very least. But she took the time to take me aside, tutor me, walk me through it, and luckily we got there.
Yeah, I went to Jesuit Catholic school in New Orleans, and I almost failed out of my 8th grade year because the first semester we spent, and when I say every day, we wrote an essay like every day, which my kids just think is absurd, but we did. And then the second semester, I had the highest grade in the class, doing wonderful, and then we start the second semester, and he goes, okay, what we're going to do is you're going to take, every other day your one of your papers and then one of your fellow students' papers, and you're going to diagram them and break them down. And I'm like, I'm almost crying at the end of the class, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, because I'd gone to 7 schools in 8 years before I got there because of the beauties of divorce and stuff. And so,
Feel that.
I missed that year of diagramming because one school did it one year, and I barely knew what a noun was, and they're talking about adverbs and all this other stuff. And so I wasn't able to pass the class. And Then I went to summer school, and we basically had a teacher who was like, you're going to teach yourself, but I'm going to give you the fundamentals. And I'm glad I had that to learn how to teach myself more than anything. But still, just this nightmare feeling of like, I'm doing everything perfect. And then a week later, I'm like, I don't know. And that's so painful, that painful feeling of being in school of like, I don't know what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Been very proud of my daughter so far. I've been able to buckle down and get through that sort of stuff because, like, I project, you project on your kids.
For sure.
There's no way I could handle this. And I'm the worst with my girls. Like, if she doesn't get in, I'm going to do this. Or if she fails that, I'll be crushed. And, like, and then we go to talk. Katie, especially my middle daughter's pretty tough. And she's like, I'm okay. And I'm like, what have you? She's like,
I've got this, Dad.
They call me you wuss. I'm like, oh, you got it. And learning that balance going into college of like, how much do you push them for grades? And, at the same thing when you and Lance probably have the same philosophy we do, where like nobody cares about your grades when you get older. But if you want to do cool stuff in college, you got to play the game.
For sure.
You can only dye your hair this much. That's what I told you. My daughter, dye the tips of your hair. You want to be an engineer, they're not going to let you go wild,
Right.
Grown-up stuff. We can edit this out, but do you want to talk about your papa? I know he just passed
yeah, sure.
Your dad just passed away this week?
Yeah, my dad passed away on Monday.
What was his name?
Dale Irving Braswell.
Okay.
Yeah, so, gosh, he, losing your dad, there's just nothing like it, you only have one. And so he was like, when I was a little girl, my dad suffered from alcoholism. And despite that, he instilled so much good in me. The appreciation of wildlife. When he did live at our house, I was at the pond bank with him all the time. Either hunting for crawfish to go fishing or cook crawfish or fishing for fish or, and he taught me how to fish. And, I used to be able to outfish him when I was a little girl. He discovered the pygmy-banded sunfish here in Mississippi and, like, discovered how it got here and, like, took it over to Mississippi State. And it was just so cool. And I believe he spent a lot of time outside because, of that void that we have.
Yeah.
And when I say we, I mean alcoholics because, I've recovered as well. But being outside absolutely is healing for me now. My dad was such a special guy. He would much rather live off the grid. He lived in Jacksonville, Florida, on an island in a tent for several years. He would sell fruit and oysters in a stand. He worked on a riverboat. He wrote poetry and songs, and he sang them. And, he loved God. And he was very passionate about a lot of things.
Well, I want to say that's something I think I'm more optimistic as the world in the future progresses, is that 30 years ago, if you were kind of a unique sort of outcast, you didn't know who to talk to. So unless you ended up on an island in Florida or in New Orleans or in New York, which is why the weirdos all went there.
Yeah.
It was real hard to find your tribe and stuff. And now, because of the internet or in spite of it, man, like, nerd culture is half the culture.
Absolutely.
Like, just in the last 10 years, you've gone from, like, Comic-Con to, like, the Festival of the Fae here in Columbus that just happened this weekend with thousands of people there, with Star Trek people making peace with Star Wars people and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's outlets and appreciation for art that the Columbus has a pretty good art scene now. Like,
Thank
really, the
God.
Arts Council is incredible, and I think the more non-native transplant that move here, you get it. But it's also, I think it's healthy mentally.
Absolutely.
When you're like, oh my God, there's a strong lesbian community in Mississippi, which, like, coming from New Orleans, I was like, I thought like everybody would be scared to death here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because I think the internet has helped that, I think that's been an outlet for a lot of people where they're like, oh, I'm unique, but I'm not as weird or an outcast. And I think that'll help with mental health
Mental
over
health,
time.
for
It's a big
sure.
discussion for my daughter and her friends in college.
Absolutely.
They're like, don't get me wrong, they drink and stuff, but she's like, well, if you have to drink to have fun. Like, there's a big pushback on alcohol now,
Yeah.
And, that's part of it. I think growing up, my father had some mental illness towards the end of his life, but like my stepfather and my mom, I've told this story many times, and she was very publicly known here, but she died with a 35-year AA chip in his pocket. He died with 35 years worth of AA chips and stories, and really, really good stories. And he was on the CNN crawl the last time he had to go to jail for running from the cops.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he led the cops in North Carolina on like a 6-county chase and drank a 12-pack of beers. He went through the Appalachian Mountains. That's something I do worry about cell phones and everything now, is like those stories. I don't know if you're going to have that cool of a story now,
right.
Or
if it will be AI generated.
I talk about something. I said something, and Mike Davis at my office would kill me because he's a Johnny Cash fan. But I was like, man, think of a different time and a different place and race and all this other stuff that you celebrate that Johnny Cash got arrested and committed a crime in Starkville. And I was like, and I referred to him as, I said, glad they got that thug, like joking once on there to poke some people in Starkville. And like, people just jumped on me. And I'm like,
they'll hammer you, man.
They'll kill you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he committed a crime. Are we bragging about people who committed, like, just being the guy that poked him?
Yeah.
But I do think, especially for our kids, like, I just love it that they can not only are more accepting of other kids. Like, I know there's still bullying going on and stuff, but it's a lot easier to find a person that likes a band you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than it used to be, or to find people that's interested or find out about that.
People are more relatable now. I feel like less stigma, more awareness.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I feel like it's because we've had some really bad effects from it being the other way.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. No, and I think especially in the recovery community, that helps, where people have access to it. Because like I remember when my mother moved here, and she's like, well, there's just 2 meetings a week at the Methodist Church here, and 2, and she was going to West Point. And she's like, that's not a lot. And then like 5 years later, is in the 2016, 17, 18, is Facebook.
Yeah.
I always say, like, in 2020, there was this beautiful time right before COVID where everybody was on Facebook. Every event was on Facebook. It was really easy to find out what was going on. And then between COVID and that orange guy and all this other problems, then like people, the tension, and now there's a whole crop of kids at the Air Force Base that they do Slack and these internal social medias, but they don't really do Facebook and Instagram, or they may just do Instagram, but they're not doing everything. We're trying to be on everywhere at the same time. I have things with my kids where they'll ask me about something. I'm like, you didn't see
Did you
that?
not look at my page?
Yeah. So one of them told me the other day, she's like, Aldi's is coming. I'm like, yeah, I had literally 1 million hits, in Columbus, Mississippi on my Facebook page. Like, we're going out to dinner with that Facebook money tonight. She's like, and then 2 weeks later, she's like, Aldi's coming? I'm like, I'm glad you're not a fan, honey. That's pretty cool. So, and did your dad live up here near the end? You said he was in the nursing home for a couple of years?
So he lived, he was born in Michigan, but he had my granddaddy was in the military. So they moved around.
That's a direct correlation, bloodline to alcohol abuse. Moving around and instability. And so that's something impressive that you have done with you and Lance and Melissa with y'all's kids, is at least keep them relatively stable. When we decided to stay here, we're like, our dream was keep the kids at the same school the whole time, like too much small town. But I'm like, if we can just not move again. Right. Like when we moved downtown, that was part of our decision, because we're like,
keep it in the same city.
Yeah, and we underestimated the opportunities that were here. So, but y'all have done a good job of that. So he was in Michigan, moved around.
No, he was born in Michigan, moved around. They came here, and I want to say, I can't really remember the story, but I want to say that my dad's mom, my grandmother June, was buying some cow milk from my mom's mom, because they had a farm out on Wolf Road, and well, your son should meet my daughter, and the rest is history. So it's just a really cocool little
Southern
matchmaking thing that happened.
Yeah, my wife will tell you a good story about my my mother near her deathbed at Baptist Hospital, trying to set me up with nurses. and Desiree just left the room. She's like, "You need to meet my son Colin." And Desiree's like, "I'm right here."
What am I, chopped liver?
Yeah. She didn't make the cut after. She's like, we've been married for 15 years. Like, what are you doing to me? That's Southern moms too, just doing that or something. Maybe they didn't upgrade or something. All right. So, and then was he down here when he started going to the nursing home, or did you have to go get him?
So, like I said, my dad was an alcoholic. He worked on the barge, would be on 28, off however long. And so it just kind of progressed as alcoholism does. And he was living at the Eastbrook apartments off of Lindbergh. It's like a little apartment complex for people with, just small incomes can live. He had ended up being put on Social Security disability because of his alcoholism and bipolar disorder, which was unmedicated, of course.
Yeah.
So he had an incident there, stayed in Baptist Psych for a little while, and my great friend Lindsay Clemens helped me do the power of attorney paperwork, and like literally went up to the hospital with me, held my hand through the whole thing, walked me through it. I'm so grateful that she did that, because, after that, and the people at Baptist were great. The people in the Jerry Psych unit were really great. They treated my dad with dignity and love and empathy. Where you don't get a lot of that with, dealing with alcoholics and mental disorders. People just don't understand sometimes.
Yeah, and it's such a big thing to handle if you're not related to them,
Right, and so they treated him so well. But we found that little nursing home. They had a spot available, and the social worker told me, hey, this is a really good spot. And so I did some research, and he went out there and lived his best life for the last 3 years of his life. I mean, he was singing with the choir music program and writing poetry and singing again and doing artwork. And they would take him on fishing trips and just all the things that you could ever want, for your parent in their last years. And they helped give that to them. And, I was able to take August out there, and like they developed a relationship, and just super, super special. A lot of healing went on these last 3 years.
Well, that's a great gift, and you never know, because like when something like that starts, you feel like you're, with a lot of people who have in generational dependency stuff, you feel like you're taking care of them. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of pressure. And to be able to get to that point, like I spent more time with my mother the last 3 months of her life than I had, and she lived here for the previous 10 years.
Yeah.
And, a lot of discussions, but some of it's just passing stuff, but it's just unbelievable what you can fit into that amount of time.
Absolutely.
And that's what a valuable thing you're able to do for him to get him in there too.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And I would be dishonest if I didn't say that some stuff came up when I found out that, yet again, we've done this before. There have been several instances in my life where, I've had to kind of go bail him out of stuff. But through, doing some inner work and finding some gratitude, like I was able to do that for my dad.
Yeah.
Like that was not, my perspective has absolutely changed, and that's a higher power. That's not me. I was just willing to do the work, and I'm so glad that I did, because the end of his life could have looked a lot different.
Yeah, it would have been easy to dismiss him and just have that narrative like, oh, he's bipolar, he's crazy, and
for sure
didn't treat me right. And then you do something right, but you never know the lesson that leaves with your kids too.
That's right.
Because your kids don't listen to you because they're too busy watching what you do.
That's exactly
right.
right.
And mental health and therapy stuff's been a big deal for me the last couple of years. I've always been a personal growth guy, but you can't have the courage to forgive others till you're forgiving yourself. And best example I had, I actually spoke about it in B&I a couple weeks ago, alluding to personal growth, but it was just like, if you went out and had a bad piece of sausage pizza, you wouldn't, first of all, you wouldn't take it home, and then you wouldn't put it in a special room in your house and warm it up every single morning or at 3 a.m. every night and eat it again and get sick again. But we do that with ourselves and our memories constantly.
Yeah.
And it's easy to replace it with something good, but you just have to let it go, and you can't let it go until you forgive yourself and
Right.
work through it. So, well, that's an incredible gift that you got to give for him. And is you burying him locally, or are we getting? I know it's.
So we actually use Lavender's Funeral Home in Aliceville.
He's
he
the
wanted
mayor.
to be cremated.
Mayor, we were joking about this off air.
Yeah.
So, Aliceville is a small enough town that you have a mayor, funeral director, and he's also runs a church.
A pastor of a church here in
Pastor of a
Columbus.
church here. I'm not sure if he has a pressure washing business, but a lot of times in these small towns in Mississippi and Alabama, the guys, just like Caledonia has
many
Caledonia has City Hall, post office, library, or a permit office are all the same door.
Yeah.
They're not even the same room. So, okay. So they were able to help you with that?
Yeah, he was able to help us. Super great guy. Did all, made everything very seamless. And so my dad wanted to be cremated. Got my mom on the shelf at home, so
Yeah.
I might not put them on the same shelf.
We've got dogs and parents next to each other. It's like my mother was super specific.
Yeah.
To the point that it probably bothered. Like her little brother had to rush over from little brother. I mean, he's older than me, but from Atlanta, and I'm like, listen. She's like, if I die before Wednesday, I want to be buried on the weekend. If it's Wednesday or later, it can be the next Thursday. Here's the songs I want. I want to be cremated. I don't want to. She goes, I don't even want a funeral home to touch me if they can't help it. She's like, please don't spend any money. I don't believe in that. And she's like, here's the songs. Here's the quotes. Go. Yeah. And that, I mean, it's very. She had told me that too when she was sick. She told me that before she was sick. She's like, when I go, I want to get it over with.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that was good. That's a beautiful thing to give permission to and some direction to, and
absolutely
not have to have that discussion.
Yeah, my dad, very minimal. He was like, I don't want you spending any money on me. If you can bury me in the yard, bury me in the yard. And I was like, I don't think we can do that. It's not legal, but we can have you cremated. And that's. I mean, it was nothing. And we're definitely going to go on a camping trip and go fishing in honor of him. Don't know when that'll be yet, but we'll work it out.
Wait till it gets to be 105 degrees.
Right.
So
Mississippi summers, baby.
it came last week. It got up to 90 degrees for
Yeah.
no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
So. Well, thanks for sharing about your dad. I know it just happened, so it's a little tough
Of
sometimes.
course.
Anything else you want to say to anybody other than specifically go to Ashley Furniture Tuesday through Saturday and ask for Rebecca Ashley Cooper Braswell III? No. Who do we ask for? Katie Cooper. Katie Cooper. And if you talk to me when you hear this, I very well may have a giant gift card if you actually call me from watching this podcast.
Never
And
know.
I don't mean a little gift card. I mean a giant gift card for you. So that's our secret thing here to people who listen to the podcast from the end. So, well, thanks for coming on. Appreciate
Thanks so
your
much
time
for
on a busy
having me.
day. You go back and hug on your kids and stuff. All right?
Absolutely.
All right, thanks.
Colin.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. My name is Colin Krieger, and my day job is real estate. If you're looking to buy or sell, I'd love to talk to you. Or if you just want to sit and talk real estate in a no pressure situation, I'd love to help you. I work with RE/MAX Partners in Starkville, Columbus, and West Point, Mississippi. I can help you find an agent anywhere in Mississippi or anywhere in the country. Just reach out to our office at 662-327-7705 or find me anywhere when you type in 662-329-SOLD.